I'm actually surprised I haven't done a video on this yet, so I'm going to look into this. I posted this image up maybe almost a month ago actually about Bralen Trice, the edge rusher that the Falcons took in the third round. And I'm gonna be quite honest, this guy is probably gonna be the real deal for the Falcons. Now the numbers showing the pressures from 2023 it looks really amazing compared to all the other guys that people say that the Falcons should have took, even in the first round. And to get this guy in the third round is absolutely amazing. So what I'm gonna say here, pretty much, I'm gonna put it out there. I think this guy is really the steal of the Falcons draft. Now I know I talked about Casey Washington possibly can be in a sixth round steal. I still stand by that, even though the Falcons have they signed a few more receivers, so I don't know how he plays in the mix. But as far as edge rushers go, this is something that the Falcons need. And I think Bralen Trice being a third round pick could be like the Danielle Hunter for the Falcons. Now, Danielle Hunter, I think he was a third round pick as well. In this past offseason, he was one of the top edge rushers to be sought after. And it was at one point we thought the Falcons were going to go after him, but he ended up going to the Texans, I think. I think he went to the Texans. But nevertheless, with Bralen Trice, I don't expect him to have like out of the world numbers coming in as a rookie. But I think after that second to third year, he looks like one of those guys that could actually take off and be one of those guys that we really need in that front seven. With that being said, you look at these numbers as far as pressures. You look at Latu, you look at Jared Verse. I mean, he has almost 20, in some cases more than 20 more pressures. And if you look at Washington going all the way to the national title game, they played against, really tough competition. Not to say that Florida State didn't or UCLA, because UCLA played in the same conference as Washington. But when you do look at what he's done, I mean, look at this. I mean, 81 pressures. He gave Bo Nix fits when he played against him and when they played against him against Oregon. I mean, I think that, what we have in this guy is absolutely amazing. And what I want to see from him is that type of guy that can go after the quarterback when needed. And when you have a guy with him and Caden Ellis, you got Grady Jarrett, you got all these other guys on that front seven, not to mention the other guys that we drafted in this draft. We have to understand. I mean, this front seven could be possibly one of the best that the Falcons seen in a long time and probably the best in the NFC. And I know we're talking about the likes of the Eagles and the 49ers and you got some guys on those teams as well that can actually make it happen. But we're right up there with them. I believe we're right up there with them. When you have a Grady Jarrett and you got and I didn't even talk about the other guys. Look, Troy Anderson's coming back and you still got Nate Landman who signed on a 1 year contract. I don't know, Ebikete. We got a lot of guys that could really make things happen. So don't be surprised when you have a situation where guys that were like in that mode of what happened in LA last year, where you had guys that was late round draft picks end up getting 10, 12 sacks for the season. Don't be surprised if something like that happened more than likely in year two. I don't expect Trice or Rook. I don't expect even Dorless. I don't expect them to be a 10 sack guy right out the way. I do expect somebody like Ebikete to have like maybe 7 or 8 and 10 sacks because this is third year. I would love to see that happen. And you have these other guys like Ayamada, Caden Ellis. You're going to have some guys that can get at the quarterback, and Bralen Trice is just going to help them out. So I think this is a phenomenal pickup, an absolute, really a steal if you think about it. Third round, and he's putting up these type of numbers when it comes to pressures. And you had Latu who go in the first round. You had Jarrett versus another guy who went higher. I don't know about Ugu or Murphy. I can't remember about those two guys where they end up going in the draft, but I feel like Bralen Trice in the third round. I mean, you got a guy who put up these type of numbers and actually performed when needed. When you looked at the tape, or even when you looked at the games, I'm really surprised that we was able to get him this late in the draft. I think this kid is going to be an absolute dog. No pun intended. When he played for the Huskies, he's going to be an absolute monster for the Falcons. I can see that happening, and not only just because of him, it's just what he's around as well. Like I said, you got all these other guys in the front seven who really, uh, for the most part, they improved from the year before. You had Calais Campbell coming in. You had Bud Dupree that was here as well. But even though those guys are gone, you still got a nucleus of guys that replace them. And on top of that, that front seven did improve, under the old defensive coordinator. And I have more faith in this defensive coordinator than I have in the last one. Because let's be honest, even though the last defensive coordinator did, get the guys to perform a little bit better, we did give up a lot of leads at the end of games. Hopefully that doesn't happen this go round. And but when you look at this offense, I mean, you're gonna need a top notch offense to probably keep up. Because if you got, Kirk Cousins, even Michael Penix at the helm, you're going to have a situation where this team could put up maybe 30 to 35 points, maybe even 38 points a game. We got so many weapons here. So um, you're going to be looking at a lot of shootouts. And there's not many teams in the league that can keep up like that. I mean, yeah, I know it's an offensive driven league, but if you're not like the Chiefs or if you're any of these other teams that could put up those type of points, which is I would say maybe three or four other teams, and that's pushing it, putting up that kind of points, we could win a lot of games here, and we definitely will win more games if Bralen Trice ever could step up and be that guy year one, or with his presence on the field could be helpful to the other guys to make sure any offense that are moving against this defense could actually bode well for the Atlanta Falcons defense. I like what Jimmy Lake is doing. I like Raheem Morris. I think those guys are defensive minded guys. They're going to be fine. Zach Morris. Zach Robinson look like he's already ready to go with this offense, and you just got all the personnel here. And once again, like I said, Bralen Trice, uh, I think he's going to be the premier guy on the edge for the Falcons. And I'm not even sure if Calais Campbell would be coming back. It would be nice for a rotational guy, but when you got Bralen Trice on one side, Ebiketie on the other side, with Ayamada and what's his name, Grady Jarrett on the other side, in the middle, and you just have a multiple set defense. I mean, you're looking at good. You're looking at a situation that could be good results, and that's what you would want out of that front seven. The secondary, um, everybody's a little bit worried about the secondary, which I'm not going to talk about too much because I feel like if you can get enough pressure in that front seven, or even if you get pressure with the front four, the secondary job is going to be extremely easy. Quarterback is not going to have time to look around the field. They're not going to find anybody open because they're going to be pressure on their back, at least 50 to 60 to 70% of the time. And that's very good results, in my opinion. So let me know what you guys think. I think Bralen Trice is going to be magnificent. He could be, and I'm really looking forward to see how that plays out. So, all right, y'all, I'm going to get up out of here. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all weekend. It is the weekend. And also, you're having the Memorial Day. So it's an unofficial time of unofficial beginning of the summer. So we'll see how it goes. All right, y'all. I'm out. Peace.